Hey, this is Keir Carter from Pear Wine Tours. Thank you for watching BYOB with me. Today, we are in Hoboken, New Jersey. Okay, so I'm outside of Alibaba's. I have to tell you, I'm so excited. The food here is fantastic. They've been on my tour since we launched here way back in 2015. And I have to tell you, every single time I bring a guest here, their socks are always knocked off. So I'm going to be speaking with Abraham shortly. He's going to tell us all about the history of this restaurant, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you. All right, so I'm here with the owner of Alibaba, Abraham. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing? How are you?
Good, brother. Good, good.
Pleasure.
So, first off, I got to ask. I know you've been here for how long?
39 years.
Wow.
This June 1st.
Okay, so what was it like when you first opened up Alibaba?
Wow. Hoboken was something, I'll tell you. But we were definitely sure of our product, and it wasn't the same. But we came in with a big heart, a lot of good recipes, family style Middle Eastern cuisine, and it worked out just fine. It was busy, it was good, it was different. We had to work hard on educating people about the food, and people were looking forward to it. Elbow to elbow. First day, November 5th of 83, I opened up at 1 o'clock. By 8 o'clock, I was sold out of everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did that feel like, man? When you have this dream and then you open up and...
It felt good. It felt really good that we can bring something straight from the biblical land of Jerusalem as Palestinians to bring it up to Hoboken and feed people the right way. It's healthy, homemade food, and it just felt good. And recognition was overwhelming. People enjoyed it and recognized what we were doing.
So on that note, recognition. Now, you won a very special award from NJ.com. Tell me about that.
Well, we actually 2018 we got the best Middle Eastern restaurant in northern New Jersey, and that was it actually brought tears to my eyes because I worked very, very hard on that one, and people appreciated what we did for them, and we were recognized for that.
Yeah, I have to tell you, because I've been working with you for a couple of years with my wine tours,
Yes.
and when that happened, like, number one, my first reaction was it couldn't happen to a better person, because
Thank you.
I know what a wonderful, kind man you are.
Appreciate it.
But even beyond that, it's such an amazing compliment, because you're not the only Middle Eastern restaurant by any stretch of the imagination in northern New Jersey.
That's true. It's true. And I tell you, I don't know, but I don't remember too many restaurants in 1983 that were Middle Eastern that really opened up. We were one of the first Middle Eastern restaurants to open up in this area, and in probably in Bergen, Hudson County.
Right, well, when you first, this had to have been just straight out the box Italian American restaurants, because it's still heavily Italian here.
Yeah.
So they must have been like, wow, what's going on, like.
Well, we look forward to the type of demographic in this city.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a lot of New Yorkers moving into Hoboken, and that made a big difference. They were looking forward to something like this, and gave us a heck of a boost.
See, this is what I'm trying to get people to realize now, that Hoboken is like 5 minutes from Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's 8 minutes from 34th Street. Like, it takes more time to get to 59th Street from the World Trade Center than it does Hoboken.
It's true.
So,
Right.
I mean, if you wanted to if you want to call Hoboken the sixth borough, that's totally okay. I wouldn't be mad at you. But, like, seriously, if you enjoy food and wine, you should be here. It's a BYOB town, and you've got talented chefs like Abraham
Thank you.
putting passion behind their food, and you're not going to find this in too many places in the city. Nothing against New York City, lots of great restaurants there, but like that mom and pop vibe, someone that opened the restaurant because of their passion, that's something that's really hard to find. And you know,
Absolutely.
it's a real honor coming here and enjoying your food, bringing my guests here, and just knowing you, man. It's been awesome.
Listen, all I can tell you guys is if you ever come to Alibaba, make sure you come hungry, because our portions are unbelievable, our service is good, and we treat you like family all the way.
My man. Thank you very much. That's
Thank
perfect,
you.
man. Thank
You
you.
got it.
All right, so I'm getting some food coming right now, and I'm looking forward to it. I have some wine, and just stay tuned.
Okay.
Okay, so we're here at Cork Wines and Spirits. Pretty awesome, right? Anyway, let's go back to Alibaba and get our grub on. Okay, so the food is here. I've just had a little bit. It's really amazing, so delicious, never ever disappoints. Our first wine to be paired is Agirikis. So this is a Greek blend from northern Greece. It's got Malagousia, Assyrtiko, and Xinomavro in it. Xinomavro, black grape, known as sour black, that's literally what Xinomavro means, added to the blend in a small percentage for acidity. The Malagousia is all about florality and aromatics. Seriously, this wine is pretty amazing. On the nose, I get this incredible bouquet of like jasmine, lychee, orange zest, roses. It's pretty incredible. You would be forgiven for thinking that this wine is going to be sweet from the smell of it, because it is super floral. Many people often confuse florality for sweetness. I just want to put this out there. You really can't smell sweetness in a wine. Very often when someone says, hey, I smell honey, they're smelling a floral aromatic, not so much a sugar aromatic. Anyway, that's points neither here nor there. You might be smelling a sweet wine, you just can't tell from the smell of it. Yeah, so cheers. Man, that is good. Wow, that is good. So all of those aromatics that I described to you earlier, everything I said about, the lychee, the jasmine, the roses, that's all there. But once you have it in the palate, it kind of broadens into tree fruit, into apples and peaches. It's got so much going on. It's really, really gorgeous. And I can't wait to see how it goes with this food. So first, I'm gonna grab a pita. And I'm just gonna go straight in for the smoky baba ganoush. Yum. Super creamy, super delish. Wow. Wow. The level of smokiness in the baba ganoush is amazing. Still really bright, lots of acidity, but creamy and rich and really nuanced. See how the wine works. Wow. Okay, so here's a really cool note. The smokiness in the baba ganoush brought out a flinty minerality in the wine that I didn't even detect originally. So this is one way that all of these different flavors work with the wine, is that they bring out different things in the wine. Like, generally speaking, I look for compatibility, and that compatibility can come in lots of different ways. But that I didn't expect. I mean, a really good thing, but I didn't expect it. Now I think I'll try some falafel. Super crunchy. And I think I'll put some hummus on top. So I've got the pita, I've got the falafel, I've got the hummus. Crunchy. Really herbal. So much going on. And the hummus has a really cooling kind of medium that is creating for all the flavors in my mouth. Oh. Now, something completely different happened. I'm tasting the wine, and somehow, there's a little bit of spice on the hummus, just a touch. And I got to tell you, a sprinkling of cayenne pepper was not even noticeable to me when I first tried the food. I had a sip of the wine, and suddenly that pepper just woke up in my mouth, all throughout the back of my throat, along the top of my tongue. Pepper spice just popped. I'm still getting all those other flavors. I'm still getting all of those beautiful aromatics, the lychee, all of the fruit. All of that stuff is still in there with an extra added impact of that pepper. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, next. Next I want to try grape leaf. I've always loved grape leaf. It's one of my favorite little bites when I think of Mediterranean food, mostly because I love rice dishes, and it's kind of like a little rice dish that nobody sees coming. It's a little mouthful of the brininess of the grape leaf and the richness of the rice. Now, I'm just gonna go in. Wow, that takes me back. A little more wine. Now here, flavor-wise, it's all about the brininess of the grape leaves. The rice is a really beautiful complement to it. It definitely gives it texture and fleshes it out in the center. With that brininess that really makes it happen. Try the wine with that. Crazy. It's really nuts how those flavors can be so consistent from bite to bite to bite with the wine, but yet it's going to give you something different with every single flavor that you match it with. It's kind of nuts. I mean, I know how this stuff works, but it never ceases to amaze me, and I'm still thoroughly impressed. All right, so let's talk about red wine. Theoretically, this kind of cuisine happens in Greece, so it's a warm place. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to find a red wine that we can drink that's not going to be, too heavy, too rich. In fact, I want something I can serve ice cold if need be. Now, you're probably wondering, what's up with that kind of wine, right? Like, what does it take to make a red wine chillable? Well, let's look at white wines first. White wines don't have any tannins, and tannins are those structuring elements, those compounds that you feel in the center of your tongue kind of drying out your palate. Those are tannins. What are tannins? Well, do you ever buy grapes and you think they're seedless and they're not seedless, and you bite into a seed and that bitter dryness overtakes your palate? Those are tannins. So white wine doesn't have tannins, and since tannins are a structuring element creating tension in the body of the wine, you need to structure that wine elsewhere. So by putting white wine in the refrigerator, it gets cold, it goes from being flabby to being structured, and now it's got a core, and it's awesome, right? So if you want to chill a red wine, a couple of things we have to look for. Number one, ideally lower alcohol. I mean, if you think about it, whenever we serve sparkling wine, we always serve it ice cold. That's because the alcohol is pretty low. Cold mutes aromatics, and aromatics are carried by the alcohol up into your nose, right? The second thing you want to look for is a wine that has lots of fruit, because that much fruit in front, and not so many tannins in the center, and ideally a lot of acidity in the finish, is kind of built the way a white wine is built. That kind of fresh, voluptuous fruit in the front can totally use structuring from temperature. So, to that end, I'm introducing to Nausa. Nausa is a place in Greece also, and this wine we're going to pour is 100% Zino Mavro. Zino Mavro is that grape I mentioned to you before that's in smaller quantities of the white. Well, this is 100% sour black. They call it sour black. It's worth mentioning that all red wines come from black grapes. So, it's not a question that they come from red grapes. So even though the name of the grape is sour black, I don't know if you can tell, this wine isn't terribly dark. It's a nice garnet, kind of almost like a light ruby color. Let's check out the nose, shall we? So this smells like straight up cherry Ludens, like beautiful, pure, focused fruit. This cherry fruit. Wow, that's amazing. When I say cherry Ludens, there's also a mild aromatic of eucalyptus happening here, and I like that as well. I mean, it's not like drinking cherry Vicks or anything like that, but that herbal quality is there, and it's definitely extending the aromatic quality of the wine. Wow, this smells really, really amazing. You can tell from the color of it that it's got some bottle aged on it. It's actually a 2017, so it's got 5 years, and that kind of fading around the edges, I don't know if you can tell, is kind of a hallmark of that. Anyway, let's go in. Cheers, guys. Okay, so that's just lovely. It's clean, it's pure. It's almost like drinking like cherry flavored grape juice, but that actually sounds awful because I wouldn't want to drink that in the form of wine. I mean that in the best possible way. Now, in terms of food and wine pairing, let's go in. First, I'm going to try the smoky baba ganoush, the eggplant dip. Man, I gotta tell you, that baba ganoush is really rocking my world. It's so good. Wow. A little more. I'm a glutton for good things, Not punishment so much, but good things big time. I gotta tell you, the Zino Mavro actually works even better than the Agaritis did. I mean, wow. I mean, there's something about the way the cherry fruit and the smokiness of the baba ganoush kind of come together and create this smoked fruit aromatic and flavor. That's really good. That's really, really good. All right, let's try something else. Let's go in for the, now I'm trying the, once again, we're doing the hummus with that cayenne pepper seasoning on it. I'm making a mess, who cares? Abraham, you are so the man. All right. Again, it's pretty amazing. This wine works so perfectly with the food. And, you know, one thing that I love stressing to people, and I know that we've all heard this, and it's not necessarily true, but we've all heard that if an animal's small enough for you to chase, you give it white wine. And if an animal's big enough to chase you, you pair it with red wine. That's not true at all. I mean, I'm working with white and red with the same food, and they're both killing it, like absolutely killing it. And it has more to do with the structure of the wine, the amount of tannins in the wine, the amount of fruit in the wine, the similarities between these two wines. And they have nothing to do with the color of it. Nothing to do with whether or not it's red or white, the grapes are black or red, none of that. It's really about the structure, the sensibilities of the wine, and how they work with this Mediterranean food. Finally, for my last bite, I just realized I haven't had any tabbouleh. And trust me, I'm not against tabbouleh. I'm a foolie for tabbouleh. I'm sorry I said that. Let's see what happens. So tabbouleh is a beautiful salad with bulgur wheat, tomato, and as I mentioned the ingredients before, super refreshing and complex. Look at that bite. Saving the best for last. Wow. Oh, that's really good. A little more than Elsa. Look at that swirl. Wow, so nice. And now the tabbouleh with the hummus together brings out an earthiness in the wine. Like all of that stuff like that I got a hint of, the eucalyptus, the kind of herbal quality I got a hint of, now I've gone underground. Now all of the earth and the terroir that exists in this wine has come out courtesy of the tabbouleh. You know, it's really interesting to me because there are a couple of countries that eat like this, where they don't drink at all. And so you would think that, you know, a lot of this food wouldn't necessarily lend itself to wine pairing, but, you know, good flavors are good flavors. And, you know, wine has a lot of great flavors in it. And if you can find the right combination of flavors to pair with it, it's going to be sublime, like this has been for me today. So anyway, thank you for watching BYOB with Keir Carter. If you get an opportunity, join me on a pair wine tour throughout Hoboken or the Lower East Side. We should be relaunching Hell's Kitchen soon as well. And I'll help you learn to be your own sommelier. Please like and subscribe if you can. And stay tuned for more videos. Cheers.